The 1970s gave us Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield, and The Temptations at their absolute peak. But beneath the legends were bands who delivered pure soul magic, then disappeared into the shadows. These are the underrated R&B groups you forgot existed. Bands that lit up dance floors, topped charts, and then slipped through the cracks of history. Let's bring them back. The Emotions. Best of My Love. In 1977, three sisters from Chicago, Wanda, Sheila, and Jeanette Hutchinson, delivered one of the smoothest soul ballads ever recorded. Best of My Love wasn't just a song, it was a masterclass in vocal harmony. Produced by Maurice White of Earth, Wind and Fire, the track floated on a cloud of shimmering strings, gentle percussion, and those angelic voices that seemed to lift right off the vinyl. The song soared to #1 on both the Hot 100 and the R&B chart, staying at the top for 5 weeks. It earned them a Grammy and Gold certification. For a brief moment, the Emotions stood shoulder to shoulder with the biggest acts in music. But here's the twist. Despite their incredible talent and that massive hit, they never recaptured that level of mainstream success. Follow-up singles charted modestly, but none stuck like Best of My Love. Today, the song lives on in samples, wedding playlists, and quiet storm radio, but the sisters behind it, nearly forgotten. A classic case of talent, overshadowed by timing and the brutal nature of the music industry. 2. The Delfonics. La La Means I Love You. Picture Philadelphia in 1968. The city is about to birth a sound that will change soul music forever. Enter the Delfonics. William Hart, Wilbert Hart, and Randy Kane. 3 young men with voices like silk, and a producer named Tom Bell who knew exactly how to frame them. La La Means I Love You was their breakthrough. A tender, falsetto-driven ballad built on lush strings, gentle horns, and a melody so sweet it felt like a love letter set to music. The song climbed to #4 on both the Hot 100 and the R&B chart in 1968, introducing the world to what would become the Philly soul sound. The Delfonics had other hits. Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time even won a Grammy. But despite their influence on groups like the Stylistics, and even Quentin Tarantino using their music in Jackie Brown, they remain criminally underrated. Most casual listeners know the song, but couldn't name the group. That's the curse of being ahead of your time. You pave the road, but others get the credit for the journey. 3. Blue Magic. Sideshow. In 1974, a Philadelphia quintet stepped into the spotlight with one of the most theatrical soul songs ever recorded. Blue Magic's Sideshow was a metaphorical masterpiece. Using circus imagery to describe a failing relationship, the song painted pictures with every verse. Lead singer Ted Mills delivered the lyrics with a mix of vulnerability and showmanship, while the production, courtesy of Norman Harris, layered strings,
He hurts so bad, so bad,
horns, and a groove that walked the line between heartbreak and celebration. The track hit #8 on the Hot 100 and #2 on the R&B chart, cementing Blue Magic as major players in the Philly soul movement. But here's what's wild. Despite being label mates with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes and having multiple R&B hits, Blue Magic never broke through to superstardom. They were consistently great, but never household name great. Today, Sideshow remains a staple on classic soul stations, instantly recognizable to anyone who lived through the 70s. But ask someone who sang it. Blank stares. 4. The 5 Stairsteps. Oh, child. Sometimes a song is so timeless, it transcends the group that created it. In 1970, a family band from Chicago, 5 siblings ranging from teenagers to preteens, recorded a song of pure hope. Oh, child was simplicity itself. A gentle piano riff, a steady beat, and a message that things are going to get easier, brighter, and better. Lead vocalist Clarence Burke Jr. was only 16 when he sang those words, but he delivered them with the wisdom of someone who'd lived through struggle. The song reached number 8 on the Hot 100 and number 14 on the R&B chart, becoming an anthem of optimism during turbulent times. It's been featured in countless films, from Boys in the Hood to Guardians of the Galaxy, introduced to new generations over and over. Yet the 5 Stairsteps remain largely unknown outside of soul music circles. They had other regional hits, but nothing that matched the cultural staying power of OOH Child. It's proof that sometimes one perfect song is enough to change lives, even if the artists behind it fade from memory.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easy.
5. The Manhattans, Kiss and Say Goodbye. In 1976, a group that had been grinding for over a decade finally struck gold. The Manhattans,
There's just so many.
Gerald Alston, Winfred Blue Lovett, Kenneth Kelly, Edward Sonny Bivins, and Richard Taylor had been performing since the early 60s, releasing single after single with modest success. Then came Kiss and Say Goodbye, a heartbreaking ballad about ending an affair before it destroys a marriage. The song was adult, mature, and brutally honest. Gerald Alston's lead vocal was restrained but devastating, and Blue Lovett's spoken word bridge became iconic. It shot to number 1 on both the Hot 100 and the R&B chart, staying there for 2 weeks and earning platinum certification. The Manhattans had finally made it. After 15 years of struggle, they had the biggest song in America. But mainstream recognition was fleeting. Follow-up hits like Shining Star charted well in R&B, but pop radio moved on. Today, they're remembered by soul purists as one of the greatest vocal groups of the 70s, but to the wider world, just another forgotten name behind a song everyone knows.
Maybe you're me.
6. Bloodstone, Natural High. In 1973, a Kansas City band that had been grinding on the Chitlin circuit for years finally caught fire. Bloodstone's Natural High was funk soul perfection. A mid-tempo groove anchored by a hypnotic bass line, shimmering strings, and vocals that floated effortlessly between falsetto and baritone. The song wasn't about drugs or escapism. It was about love as the ultimate natural high, a message that resonated across demographics. The track climbed to number 10 on the Hot 100 and number 7 on the R&B chart, giving Bloodstone their first and only pop crossover hit. They continued releasing quality R&B throughout the 70s and even scored hits in the UK, but American pop radio never embraced them again. The group was too soulful for rock stations, too funky for easy listening, and too sophisticated for disco. They fell through the cracks, victims of a radio landscape that couldn't figure out where to place them. But Natural High endures. It's been sampled by hip-hop artists, covered by jazz musicians, and remains a fixture on classic soul playlists. Bloodstone deserved better, but at least they left us with one undeniable classic. 7. The Intruders. Cowboys to Girls. Philadelphia, 1968. While the Temptations were dominating Motown,
When you got your first baby coach,
another group was quietly revolutionizing soul music. The Intruders, Sam Little Sonny Brown, Eugene Bird, Daughtry, Phil Terry, and Robert Big Sonny Edwards, delivered Cowboys to Girls, a coming-of-age anthem wrapped in gamble and huff production magic. The song's premise was simple but powerful.
when I used to see you jumping rope,
Boys become men, and with that comes responsibility, respect, and real love. The track featured a spoken word intro that became as iconic as the song itself, and a melody that stuck in your head for days. It reached number 6 on both the Hot 100 and the R&B chart, establishing the Intruders as major players in the emerging Philadelphia international sound. They had other hits. I'll Always Love My Mama became a Mother's Day staple, and their catalogue influenced everyone from the OJs to Boys II Men. But outside of Philly and hardcore soul fans, the Intruders remain largely unknown. They were pioneers of a sound that would dominate the 70s, yet they're footnotes in music history. Sometimes being first means being forgotten.
this whole world has been rearranged.
8. The Chai Lights. Have you seen her? Chicago, 1971. A vocal group that had been together since high school was about to deliver one of the most emotionally devastating soul ballads ever recorded. The Chai Lights, Eugene Record, Marshall Thompson, Creadell Jones and Robert Lester built Have You Seen Her around a simple but powerful premise: desperate longing for a lost love. Eugene Record's falsetto was vulnerable, almost fragile, as he sang over a melancholic string arrangement and a groove
With all the people I know, I'm still
that felt like walking through rain. The spoken word bridge, where Record recites a letter to his lost love, became one of the most memorable moments in 70s soul. The song reached number 3 on the Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart, giving the Chai Lights their biggest crossover success. They followed it with Oh Girl, which also hit number 1, proving they weren't a fluke. But by the mid-70s, disco had taken over, and the Chai Lights brand of vulnerable, string-laden soul fell out of fashion. They continued making music into the 80s and 90s, but mainstream recognition had moved on. Today, Have You Seen Her is a classic, but mention the Chai Lights to anyone under 50, and you'll likely get a blank stare.
Go away. Oh.
9. Heatwave, Always and Forever. In 1977, a British-based, internationally diverse funk band gave the world one of the most enduring wedding songs ever recorded. Heatwave was unique. Formed in Germany by American servicemen, the group featured members from multiple countries, creating a sound that blended American soul with European sophistication. Always and Forever was written by lead singer Johnny Wilder Jr. as a tender ballad built on gentle keyboards, subtle strings, and a melody so beautiful it felt timeless the moment it was released. The song reached number 18 on the Hot 100 and number 2 on the R&B chart, but its true legacy came later. Decades after its release, Always and Forever became a staple at weddings, slow dances, and romantic moments.
That magic you make.
Covered by artists from Luther Vandross to Aaliyah. But Heatwave, tragedy struck when Johnny Wilder was paralysed in a car accident in 1979, and the group never recovered commercially. They released quality music throughout the 80s, but the spotlight had moved on. Today, Always and Forever plays at countless weddings every year, but few people know the band behind it or the tragedy that cut their story short.
Got a life of love.
10. Main ingredient. Everybody plays the fool. Sometimes a song is so universal, so perfectly crafted, that it feels like it's always existed.
It's gonna love you. Oh, I love it.
In 1972, Main ingredient. Cuba Gooding Sr., Tony Sylvester, and Luther Simmons Jr. released a song that spoke to anyone who'd ever been heartbroken. Everybody Plays the Fool wasn't flashy. No dramatic strings, no complex arrangements. Just a simple, devastating truth delivered over a gentle, Latin-influenced groove. Cuba Gooding Sr.'s vocal was perfect. Not over-singing, not showing off, just pure honesty and emotion. The song reached number 3 on the Hot 100 and number 2 on the R&B chart, becoming Main Ingredient's signature hit. They had other songs chart, but nothing matched the cultural penetration of Everybody Plays the Fool. The track has been covered by Aaron Neville, the OJs, and countless others, proving its timeless appeal. But Main Ingredient? Outside of soul music circles, they're virtually unknown. Cuba Gooding Sr., father of the Oscar-winning actor, deserved more recognition for delivering one of the 70s most perfect soul songs. 11. The Dramatics. What You See Is What You Get. Detroit, 1971. While Motown was losing its grip on the city's sound, a raw, aggressive soul group was rising from the streets. The Dramatics, Ron Banks, Larry Demps, Willie Ford, Elbert Wilkins and Larry Reid, delivered funk soul with an edge that Motown rarely touched. What You See Is What You Get was built on a relentless groove, punchy horns, and Ron Banks' commanding lead vocal that demanded respect. The song's message was simple. Authenticity. No pretense, no games, just raw truth. It shot to number 9 on the Hot 100 and number 3 on the R&B chart, establishing the Dramatics as one of Detroit's premier soul acts. They followed with In the Rain, an even bigger R&B hit, and maintained a successful career throughout the 70s. But mainstream pop recognition eluded them. They were too gritty for crossover, too real for easy categorization. Today, the Dramatics are beloved by soul purists and Detroit natives, but to the wider world, they're just another forgotten name from the golden age of soul. They deserved arena tours and Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they got respect from those who knew and invisibility from everyone else. 12. The Moments. Love on a Two-Way Street. We end with a group that perfectly embodies what this entire list represents. Undeniable talent, perfect songs, and criminal underappreciation.
She held me in desperation.
The Moments, Harry Ray, Al Goodman, and Billy Brown released Love on a Two-Way Street in 1970, a song about the give and take of relationships. The production was lush, but not overdone. Strings, a steady groove, and 3 voices that blended like they'd been singing together in the womb. The song reached number 3 on the Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart, giving the Moments their biggest crossover success. They continued making quality soul throughout the 70s, even transitioning to Ray, Goodman and Brown in the 80s with more hits. But despite decades of quality music, despite influencing countless vocal groups,
softly playing, her lips were gently saying,
the Moments remain largely forgotten by mainstream audiences. Love on a Two-Way Street still gets radio play. It's still recognized instantly by anyone who lived through the 70s, but the group behind it? Lost to time, victims of an industry that chews up talent and spits out only the biggest names.
to give up love, but
These 12 bands gave us some of the most beautiful soul music ever recorded. They topped charts, influenced generations, and created soundtracks to millions of lives. Yet most of them have been forgotten, reduced to who sang that song trivia questions. Which of these groups surprised you most? Which song brought back memories? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into forgotten music history, hit that subscribe button. Because these stories deserve to be told, and these artists deserve to be remembered.
she held me in desperation.